Hi, I'm Marilyn San Clemente of Stamp with Marilyn, and welcome to my creative playground. Today I'm going to record how to make this card that I showed last night in my class. This is a really cool card. It has this envelope kind of look to it, and it opens up like this, and then it folds out like this. This is one that I made with the zinnia paper, which I love. And then this is one that's made with the Full of Life paper, and it's the Full of Life Sweet collection. So it is on page 43 of the new catalog. Yeah, I really like this paper. So now that I've played with it some more, and there's some really cool things that you can do with it because it's got some neat designs. So for example, I took this page and I just cut it down the middle and put those two together. I could put something up here. I have not put a greeting or anything in this, but I did put the friend on the front with some pretty flowers, and these leaves are part of the set. This is the flower punch that is current. It punches 3 different flowers, and what I did is I colored them with blending brushes. So let me show you how to make this and what I recommend. And it's actually what I did when I first made this is I just took scrap paper. I think this is a retired color. I know it's a retired color. I took scrap paper and I made a sample for myself, and I marked all the measurements and all that good stuff on it. So it's easy for me to duplicate, especially because my memory is not so good these days. But anyway, getting old is no fun. I'm going to put these 2 up here, and I need my cutter. Okay, so for this one, I am using the Country Woods and Country Lace paper, and I'm actually using a couple different colors of cardstock, so it's easier for you to see some of this. Okay, how these are folded. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we have a sheet of 5.5 by 8.5, which we are going to score at 4 1/4. And I want to move that cutting blade out of the way. So I'm going to score this at 4 1/4. And the difference with this is when we score it up, instead of having the fold at the top, it will be at the bottom. Okay? And then we want 4 pieces of cardstock that are 5.5 by 4 1/4. And we're going to take those pieces, and one piece we're going to score the long way at 1/2 inch. It will all make sense in a minute. Okay, I'm going to put that one there, and then 2 pieces we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 3 1/4. And those are going to become our gatefold pieces. Okay, and then this 4th piece we're just going to set aside for a few minutes. Okay, so this is, there we go, and 3 1/4. So what I have used here, so that you can see how this is going to work, is I have used the Misty Moonlight for my base, and I'm using the Boho Blue for the other pieces that we're going to do. Is we're going to crease all of these, and we just want to give them a really, really good crease. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go back and forth. And this one is going to become, oops, wrong way. This one is going to become that piece over the top. Okay, so we're going to cut that envelope front on this. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And then these are the two sides. So this is how we're going to attach our side, that 1/2 inch tab that we're making. And then, so this is going to go like this, and then this will fold back. There we go, so that's that. And then this one, same thing, we're gonna fold. Okay, and then this one will fold back like this. There we go. And let me do one more. So the one thing that you will need for this also is you do need a roll of the sticky strip or tear and tape, whatever you want to call it. So this is our card front. This is going to be our card top, and that's going to come over like this. And then the card is going to fold up like this, okay? So what I want to do before I do anything is I want to cut this front. And as you can see, with these two cards, I've cut this together. So this is a 3-inch piece, okay? And I know that these have retired, but these are really cool, and they were popular for quite a while, so probably a lot of you have them. They're the basic border dies, and I'm going to use this one. And if you don't have these dies, what you can do is measure down on the side. We cut this to 3 inches, I believe. Let me verify that. Yep, 3 inches. And so what you want to do is measure down 3 inches, okay? And then you can measure over 1.5 from each side. We can measure down 3 inches. Like this on each side, okay? And then measure over approximately, I would say, an inch, 1.5 inches. Depends upon how, okay? Okay, so what you could do then is just cut from here to here, and here to here if you don't have that die, okay? And I have pulled out some of the Country Woods designer paper, and that I'm going to use. So I'm going to put this here. And actually what I'm going to do is line this up. I'm not attaching this yet, because I want to line this up, and then I'll get those off later. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up with the bottom, and the reason why I'm doing that is I want to only make this cut once so that these two pieces line up correctly. And then what I will do is I can trim a little bit off up here and then move this up so that I have that border. It will make sense in a couple minutes when I do this. So I'm putting this like so. I have these little Post-it note things that are great, and they hold your dies in place. So I have a piece that I'm going to use. So now I want to just put this like this. Okay, and I will be back in a minute. So now, let's pull this all apart. There we go. We've got our pretty scalloped border. And same thing with this. Just have to pull this apart carefully. I don't want to pull up my paper. And what's nice about these Post-it notes is they're sticky, but they're not too sticky. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to set that aside. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I can decide how much of a margin I want, and then I'm just going to trim a little bit off of the top there to get that margin. So I'm going to trim about 1/4 of an inch off. And if you're looking at a pattern, if you're using a pattern like this one that has a specific design that goes in a certain direction, figure out which direction you want that pattern to go before you start doing this. So I'm just going to attach this. I love this Country Woods and the Country Lace paper. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we're just going to line this up so we have our little margin all the way around, and this will fold under, so you can see we've got that. That's going to be really pretty, actually. I really like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do, so this is the inside of our card. We're done cutting, and now it's just building our card. So this is the inside. I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going to take this piece, and this will be the top. So I'm going to put this little tab. There we go. Just need to start my tape. And I do like this Terran tape. Just a little tad short there. So we'll put another little piece right there. Okay, so we're just going to peel this off. There we go. And this is going to go under here. So what we want to do, I have to stand up to do this so that I can get it lined up correctly. You want to make sure that you have that lined up, and you want it just below that fold. You don't want it to cross over that fold or be too close to the fold, because you're going to be adding layers of paper to this, and so you want it to be able to fold. You want it to be a little bit loose, per se. Okay, so it's going to go like that. And we'll throw these away. Okay, and then over here, you may have noticed, I've got a little bit that shows here. So I'm just going to trim very, very, just a smidge off of this. See if I can do this. And it will probably be crooked. Okay, so I'm just getting that smidge there. Okay, so this is going to be the back side, and we're going to repair all that in a few minutes. Okay, so here's the first part of our card. We've got our card base, and even that's just pretty. We could do more of that, and you know, that would be really pretty. And the way to do that would be to do 11 inches by 5.5, and then you wouldn't have to add this extra piece to it. So you could do it all with one piece. So, okay, now we're going to take these, and these are our pieces that are going to go here. Okay, and before I do this, I'm going to actually take these two, and I am going to trim them just a smidge. So again, this is 4 1/4 here, and these are 4 1/4. So I want that to be just a little bit below that fold, and just a little bit above this fold line. So I'm just going to trim just a smidge off of those. I should have done that before I scored them, but I didn't think about it at that point. Okay. So, like this. So what I did was I lined the edge of my cardstock up against the edge of this cutting. So that's probably maybe 1/16 of an inch, maybe. It's about as thin as you can get on this cutter. So there we go. Okay, and we're all done with that now. So now we're going to do the same thing that we just did before. I'm going to fold this back like this. And I'm going to add tape to this. There we go. Okay, and then this one will go this way, so it's going to fold like that. Okay, so this one will look like that. Okay, what's nice about the tear and tape is it just tears. It's very easy to use. Okay, now we'll pull this off. And we'll pull this off. There we go. Okay, and again, I'm just going to stand it up so that I can get this under the way I need it to be. And line that up. Oops, oh shoot. That slid a little bit. Okay, and actually it helps having it two different colors. Okay, so there's one side, and here's the other side. Okay, there we go. And we have our gatefold. Okay. And so now we have the front. This comes up, and this will go down like this. And then what I did was I made this little piece to catch. So this piece is attached to this bottom. So I used dimensionals, and I just put dimensionals on the bottom of it, and then that catches this and kind of keeps the card folded. Or you could use a belly band. You could use a belly band as well. Okay, so I'm just going to put another piece down here for that. You could make this go up the whole way if you wanted it to. You don't have to. It would look like that. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to attach this. It's kind of up to you. Now what I did with those flowers, with the zinnia, I used the piece on the bottom that is the garden, and then I trimmed around the flowers so the flowers kind of stand out. And I did that also on the inside. So just look at your paper and how you want to use it, and you know, decide what you would like to do with it. So I'm just going to center that. There we go. I've got that nice 1/4 inch margin there all the way around. And okay, so now I have one more piece that I'm going to put down here that matches the wood on the rest. And then I have used the country lace paper. Oops. And I'm going to use that on the sides here. So this is going to go on here. That's 2 5/8 by 4. And this one will go here. And then this piece will go here. And I just need to trim just a tad off the top of this. And the width on these is fine. So these are 2 1/8. I just need to trim a little bit off the top. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put a piece of white here. There we go. So that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. You can put a mat under it if you want. You don't have to. You can decorate that any way you'd like, actually. Okay. We could put the birdhouse here. We could put the birdhouse up here. And then you could leave room here. Or if you put the birdhouse in the center, you could put your notes over here. You could make this white to add your notes there. So, okay. So that is how we put this card together. So these fold in. And if you want, you can cut 2 more pieces for this side also, if you wanted to. This will fold in. This comes up. But the more layers you put on it, the thicker it will be. And then you would put something here. So, okay. Oh, and I forgot. So this is the back. And you can see, because I used the different colors, how this back looks. So this is what the 4th piece is. And what I'm going to do is, this piece is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is the size of the full envelope. But I don't want these edges hanging over, so I'm going to trim just a smidge, another smidge off 2 sides of this, one off the long side and one off the short side. Okay. And then this is going to go completely over this, and it hides that back. So you could also make this piece white, and you could write a note on here as well. So let me show you. So we're going to go all the way down this side. Okay. I'm also going to do the center a little bit. This back will not come off. Now I just need to get it on straight. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So there is our card, and this is the zinnia card. And like I said, I used that paper that looks like the garden, and I cut around the zinnias, and I did the same here. And then this folds out. Okay. That goes back under there. And then this one I used that Full of Life paper, Full of Life suite. And then this is the new dies that make the lollies. And there we go. And this one I made a little too short, which is why I added more to it today, and then I realized I added too much. So, okay. And these are all the dies. All of this is out of that Full of Life suite. So there's some interesting things in that suite. Okay. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking this out. And I hope you enjoy making this. Take care.